Ladies and gentlemen, live from the stand in Glasgow, the Magic Glue.
Good evening and welcome to Fight Night on the 40. You join us live from First Glasgow's number 40 bus, where we're expecting explosive action for fight fans tonight.
No kidding, Gabby. We're looking forward to having plenty to talk about here tonight as we travel up the Maryhill Road.
And Gib, you were telling me earlier there's one contest in particular you see a lot of potential in.
That I do, Gabby, that I do. Over here in the urine-soaked corner, we've got Deke McLennan, the fine young drum chapel amateur. And in the puke corner, we've got Malky Syme, who's been doing the rounds for many a long year. A real familiar face on the bus ride fighting scene.
He certainly is, Gib. Are there any fight fans out there not familiar with his battle cry, "Your maw's got balls"?
Very few, I'm sure.
And Gib, I understand there's no love lost between these two.
That's putting it mildly, Gabby. Coming from the same estate, these two have got a history, and I think it's fair to say they just plain don't like each other. Who can forget the square go on the 4-0 2 years ago? Certainly not the residents of the Peel Glen Road, that's for sure. As for tonight, well, speaking to Deke earlier, he was telling me he feels in good shape and doesn't like the way Malky's been eyeing up his chips since he got on at the bottom of Union Street.
So a fair chance of some classic boxing action then, Gib?
Gabby, I think we're only a thoughtless remark about a girlfriend or a mother away from a full-blown stushy.
Your ma's got balls.
And they're off. Gib, a nice slapping away of the chip poke from Malky there to start off the contest.
Yes, and in response, Deke is grabbing his crotch and inviting Malky to suck his dauber. Classic showboating from this fine young prospect.
They've grabbed each other round the head, feeling one another out, jockeying for position, and the driver has stepped in and looks to be breaking up the fight. What drama here in the 40.
Well, no one saw that coming, Gabby. Usually drivers stay well out of harm's way when a fight breaks out, but not this little lady. Real heavyweight intervention from the driver there.
And of course, Gibbs, some drivers are former backseat swedgers themselves. I remember this little lady in her prime fighting her way out of the Larkfield depot, and I'm just hearing the police have been phoned. The police have been phoned. That's the end of tonight's contest, and Gib, with no clear winner. What a disappointment for the fans.
It certainly is, Gabby, but not to worry. These idiots will be back on the buses tomorrow.
And so will we, of course, with more bruises, bams and bus fights on Fight Night on the 40. From Gib, myself and all of us here at Maryhill Police Station, we hope you've enjoyed the ride.
Willie, is that you?
Alec Mitchell, I don't believe it. How you doing? How's your family?
Och, aye, fine. Our Ryan's just starting college. I'm just going up to pay his fees for him.
God, Ryan's away to college? Jeez, oh, you're making me feel old.
Aye, they grow up fast, mate, they grow up fast.
I know, mate, aye. So, where do you work in yourself? Are you still doing
Still
it?
at Orchards, aye, still at the fruit shop. And you? Are you still into the old mugging?
Aye, still mugging away,
How's that going for you?
Oh, you know, mate, ups and downs, eh? Your old folk are getting hardier these days, plus you've got your mace and your pepper sprays. I tell you, this old doll last week fought me for about 10 minutes to get a bag off her. See, once I got her purse open, she had about £3 in there. Tell you, it's an absolute shame what they give these pensioners to live on these days, so it is.
I hear you, mate, I hear you. It's a disgrace.
You're no joking, mate. So anyway, I'm going to need to take all your money, eh? I don't want to have to stab you, but I will. You know how it is.
Oh, God, what was I thinking?
You're getting slow in your old age, eh, mate?
Aye, what must you think of me? Well, here's my wallet.
Great stuff now. Anyway, mate, I best be off, eh? Love to Francis and the kids, but...
Aye, no bother, mate. Look, you couldn't just leave me enough money for the bus fare up the road.
Oh, sorry, mate. See, you're my first of the night. I'm kind of strapped.
OK, fair enough.
Tell you what, I see you in the boozer on Friday. I'll shout you a pint. How does that sound?
All right, mate. You take care. Great to see you.
Well, you too, mate. Stay lucky, eh?
That's never you, Willie, is it?
Brian Palmer? No way. I've not seen you in years. Not since you had that big lottery win.
Aye, well, Willie, I've been abroad living the high life, eh? What you do with yourself these days?
Ah, well, funny you should mention that, Brian.
Look, Tony, I'm just no sure about this.
That's why I've brought you here, among the evangelical agnostics, Colin. I've been coming for weeks, and I've never been more sure of my uncertainty about God's possible existence. Wait till it gets started. It will reinforce any doubt you have in your mind.
Well, okay.
Shh, it's starting.
Brothers and sisters, are you ready to possibly give it up for the Lord? If someone offers you tangible proof of his or her existence, let me hear you say maybe.
Maybe.
You know, brothers and sisters, some people say that 2,000 years ago, a man came down from heaven to wash away our sins. Now, I'm here to tell you today that I'm skeptical, but I'm not ruling it out.
It's unlikely,
but
possible.
Let me hear you say maybe I believe.
Maybe I believe.
Let me hear you say all I need is some proof.
All I need is some proof.
Let me hear you say I like the idea of a supreme being watching over humankind, but generally consider ideas like the existence of God inherently unknowable.
What he said.
Wow, this is exactly the kind of place I've been looking for to express my religious ambivalence.
So you'll be back next week?
I'm not sure.
That's the spirit.
Right, well, there's my taxi.
So that's it then? You're really leaving?
I have to, Justin. There's nothing for me here. You're just too wrapped up in your career.
Pie eating isn't my career, Sandra. It's my vocation. It's what I was born to do. I didn't choose pie eating. It chose me. I won't apologise for who I am, Sandra. I eat pies. I eat pies well. It's not my fault I'm the greatest pie eater in the history of this sport.
It's not a sport.
There you go again, belittling me, my achievements.
I'm just saying it's not really a sport. It's just a bunch of fat people sitting around in homemade uniforms eating pies.
Fine, maybe you should just go.
Look, I didn't want it to end this way, but you've become obsessed.
Oh, rubbish.
Just last month you missed our wedding anniversary.
It clashed with the Blueberry Deep Dish Classic. You said you understood, but you'll never understand, will you? I have fans, people who rely on me. If I'm not out there eating pies for the little guy, who will? You, Sandra, you.
Justin, you don't have fans. You're a competitive pie eater.
No fans, eh? No fans. Then what about the letters I get? What about the one from Mrs. Peacock saying that my pie-eating exploits had inspired her to beat cancer?
Oh yes, Mrs. Peacock. How is she these days?
Having a whale of a time. No thanks to you and your anti-pie agenda. If it were up to you, Mrs. Peacock would be dead and we'd all be eating lettuce. Isn't that right, Sandra, eh? Eh? That's what you want, isn't it, Sandra? All my fans dead and the world eating rabbit food. Well, that's not my world, Sandra, and it is not Mrs. Peacock's world either.
Stop it, Justin, stop it. Mrs. Peacock doesn't exist, does she? You wrote those letters to yourself. I checked your computer.
You checked? Oh, Sandra, I'm so sorry. Don't leave me, please.
Okay, but that's it with the pies. No more pies, okay?
You got it. The pies are history. It's just you and me, baby, from here on in. Excuse me just a second.
Justin, is that what I think it is?
Are you still here? I thought you said you had a taxi.